Hi everybody, I thought I'd show you what I've been up to in the last few weeks. If you can't hear me, I'm sorry, it's the wind blowing. Let me just show you. This I'd like to introduce you to is Shuggie. Come on in. Slightly nicer in here, warmer for starters. Let's just close this door. That'll do. There we go. So, catch you up. What I've been doing. Oh my goodness. You'll have to excuse me a bit. I've had a cold. Well, I've still got a cold actually. And before anybody says a word, it's not COVID. Okay. But I've got a bit of bronchitis on top of it, so it's I'm struggling a little bit to breathe, but never mind. Oh, just take those out of my pocket, they're wet. So, what have I been doing? Having a greenhouse built is the first thing I've been doing. Whoops, let me just grab that door. It's gone a bit windy again in here. Yeah, so, okay, let me explain a few things to you. I'll just sit down. Hopefully the door won't flap, but if it does, I'll have to run and catch it. Sun's in my eyes. Oh dear. That's better. I can see a little bit now. Oh dear. I look a bit of a so-and-so in this heart. So, I've been having a greenhouse built. Well, it's made with plastic. It's this thermoplastic. This plastic that I've had used on it is the stuff they use on polytunnels. So it's got a special UV coating on the outside to stop it degrading. And my friend Ray, who built my Wendy house, my other shed, and my planter on the other plot, I nagged him to death over the last few months, gave him some ideas, and this is what he's very, very kindly built for me. And I've got it built and covered for less than £400, which I know is quite a lot of money. I know that, and I've had to save to do it because I don't have a lot of money. But I wanted something that would last longer than a couple of seasons, because other people along here have put up the cheaper ones that you can buy, which is fine. But I'm going to tell you something, I'm going to admit this, I actually bought one of those myself, the slightly bigger one from Wilkinson's, God rest their souls, gone now haven't they? Anyway, I got one about a year ago, spent the whole night worrying about it and took it back the next day and got my money back, because I just knew it's quite a windy site at the best of times, and I just thought it's not going to last 5 minutes. So I decided I wanted a timber framed greenhouse. Now I've had it covered with this thermoplastic, which might last about 8 years, and maybe at that point I might have carbon, you know, that carbon, what's it called, polycarbon. I might have the polycarbon put on the roof and down the sides and go for a more rigid structure, but it's hunkered down into the ground. You actually, if I turn you round, you can see that there's actually a step down into the greenhouse, so we are about 6 to 8 inches below normal ground level. So it's hunkered down into the ground, it's built solid, it's going nowhere. The only thing I've got to get done, and I'm going to struggle to get it done now because it's so late in the season, is it needs a coat of treatment. That might have to wait till next season. It is tannalised, so I know it'll be okay, but it's better done sooner rather than later, yes? Anyway, I got him to put on that mesh on the door so there's an airflow for the summer, and again on this window at the back, which opens, there's an airflow window here, so hopefully it just will help it a little bit because if I can't get down here, and I'm not in the area all the time, it could get a bit hot. Anyway, so I put some weed membrane down on the floor. He dug it out. Well, you can see that. There you go, you might just be able to see it. I put chip bark on it, and I just asked him to put a little seat on the end here so I can sit down in here. So if it does rain, I can run in here and I can shelter. So there you go. So that's what I've been doing. Now I've filled, he plastic lined all these, bless him, and he's done such a good job. He's such a good guy, and he's plastic lined them for me, and he's put some soil in, probably from what he dug out to put it in the first place. And I put a layer of grass cuttings on, and I've also put a little bit of manure in there. It could do with a bit more, and then I'm going to top it up with some compost. I'm not going to come to the very, very top. I'm going to keep it just a few inches below. So there's about another 6 to 8 inches of compost needed in there, and then we're ready to go. So now these grounds are going to start to warm up, ready for the next growing season. And I think I'm going to grow a few. There'll be a few tomatoes in here, not many. I'll probably grow bush tomatoes as opposed to the vine ones, because there's not masses of room. And I want to grow some peppers, so I'm not so reliant on the shops for peppers. I'm really keen to try and get away from buying loads of stuff from the shop. What the heck have I done with my hair? Oh dear, sorry about this. Anyway, so it's rather a windy day today, but I'm going to take you outside and just show you what I've done. There's only a few bits I've been doing. I've lifted some big onions in the other plot. I've taken home my first set of onions that were drying in the other shed. But when I got here, the arch was half down and one of the other attachments was broken. So I've had to repair it, take it out the ground, repair it, and it's now lying down over on the grass over there. And it'll stay there for the winter now. I'm not leaving it up because these winds can be quite vicious around here. So that can stay down and I won't be worrying about that anymore this season. And I've also been taking out my squashes, because I noticed one of them, I was going to leave them a little bit longer, but I noticed one of them had been chewed, probably mice, or maybe rats. And I thought, oh heck, I've got a couple of really nice butternut squashes, and I thought I don't want to lose them, don't want them chewed by rats. So I've taken them out, they're in the wheelbarrow and they're ready to go down, and they can finish ripening at home, minus the rats and the mice. Anyway, so I've lifted what's left of the squash plants and put those on the compost heap with a few other bits and pieces. So I'll just take you outside and show you, and I'll apologise now if you can't hear anything I have to say, because it is quite windy out there. I'm a bit warm in here with my woolly hat on, so let's go outside and have a little look. Just hang on to the door. There we go. Just put the block on the door. There we go. Right, so I'll show you. So if you look, this is the squash bed, roughly cleared. I will now have to get some compost and put it onto there. The arch is out. The arch looks a bit bare without the arch actually. It's like a big open space now. And these are my squashes. I'll show you. What do you think of those? They're good, aren't they? Look at this little tiddler. Look at this little baby one. Bless it, I didn't want to leave it here. It's just perfect but tiny. So I thought that'll go on the fruit bowl and look quite nice for the autumn. But these butternut squashes, well, they were massive. There's two big ones like that. And I just didn't want them ruined by mice or rats. I thought, no, I want those. So I picked them. I've broken them off right up at the join on the stem to the plant. So hopefully they'll be okay, because you've got to leave a stem on them to get them to ripen. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 uchikikuris. good sized ones too, you know, good sized ones, all that size. So I've got one at home which did finish ripening. I picked it early by mistake. So anyway, it has ripened, it's come on great. So there you go, that's where I'm up to. And every time I lift stuff out of a bed, I try and make a point of putting manure on that bed and leaving it then for the winter. So my next little job, as I mentioned in an earlier video, just put my gloves in there, is to, oops, sorry about that, just to work on this part here, because this piece here is going to be sheared off. You can see it better now I've not got the plants in. I just come to this end and do this. So this section here, I'm going to shear it off and make it so that the bed is broader and the grass paths are narrower, so that there's more practicality for the squash bed. And of course on this side over here, it does, I'll just bring you over here, just stand you here and let you see this part here. By shearing it off towards where the wheelbarrow is there, it will broaden this bed, and that means there'll be bed in front of that pond, so I'll be able to do a bit more with it. So just have to keep working on things, lifting stuff and checking stuff and trying to manure stuff as we go along. It's a bit awkward because the weather's not always with us, but you just got to do the best you can, haven't you? Anyway, whatever you're doing, enjoy yourself, and hopefully I'll see you again shortly without the cough and the wheezing. Bye bye for now.